But yet we do, and this leads into our second out. We do have a team that is, I mean, potentially, and they're in the same division, by the way. We just talked about how the Guardians, and we'll go into the second out right here. The Guardians are 67-44. The Twins right now are 4.5 games back. The Royals are 5 games back. Okay. The Tigers are not going to make the playoffs, right? They're 15 games back. They're 53-60. The Chicago White Sox are 41.5 games back of first place in that division. They are 27-87, and 20 games ago they were 27-67. How unbelievable is that? They lost 20 straight games. So let's talk about the White Sox for a minute. Dalton, just how bad can the White Sox be?
I mean, there's no real floor to it, which is kind of a scary thing. Like, at this point, nobody would be surprised if they set the record for being the worst team ever. I will say the one good thing the White Sox have going for them right now, if you caught any of their post-game show last night, which I'm sure you didn't, but watching Ozzie Guillen and Frank Thomas like basically make fun of this team was really funny. And Ozzie Guillen talking about how he's seeing a therapist because Pedro Grifol got that job over him, and how it's making him doubt his own self-worth. It had me just rolling. So at least they have that going for them. But no, look, I mean, it's bleak, man. Like there's no plan, right? There's no like big prospect haul that you got at the deadline. And I'll talk about their deadline when we get there. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's no real like hope, right? There's no like, oh, we'll wait till we call up this guy and this guy and this guy. Nah. It's just ugly. And they're not going to get better for a while. You know? I mean, that's the thing. If you were to say, hey, Dalton, who's going to be the worst team in baseball 4 years from now? If you get this question right, you're going to get $1 million. I'd probably guess the White Sox. Like, unless they start firing people in that front office or they change ownership, like, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't. So it's just, it's not good.
It's bad. So I did a little bit of research before. And, when you talk about some of the worst teams in baseball history, right? I mean, you're talking like the 1962 Mets, right? Like you're talking about teams that went 45 and 115, right? Or 117. Like I think the White Sox could easily eclipse that. Like easily be like they could finish the year, 32 and 130. Like it's not like, and as crazy as that sounds, right? Could you imagine, like, think about this. They're 27-87 right now. Okay. They're 114 games into the season. If for the rest of the year, right? So that's 48 games. Could you see them going like 6-42?
Yes.
I that's what I'm saying is like, it is so crazy. Right. Right. I mean, like we're looking at a team that like, and we were talking about this pre-show that like, not only are they bad, but they're going to be bad for a long time. Like this is actually kind of frightening. And if you're a White Sox fan, I genuinely feel bad. Like this isn't like, like boo-hoo Met fans feel bad for us. You know what I mean? Like, this is actual pain. The White Sox are like, they make me, whenever I cry and I bitch, and I cry and I bitch about the Yankees and how they sucked for 6 weeks. But the White Sox make me feel better about that. They really do, because you're right. They don't have any semblance of a direction. This isn't even a rebuild, right? Like you can't consider this a rebuild. They didn't trade Crochet.
They came into this season wanting to compete.
Right.
Like Pedro Grifol, their manager, still thinks that they're competing. Like they're delusional on top of it all.
Yeah. It's really, really bad. I mean, for the most part, right? I mean, we all kind of expected that. And I think the tune kind of changed a little bit when it came to trading Garrett, Crochet, trading Luis Robert, right? They wanted whatever. They wanted Juan Soto type guys for Luis Robert. You're just not going to get that. Luis Robert's not nearly as good as Juan Soto is. He's just not, right? Garrett Crochet, he's a really solid young pitcher with nasty stuff. But he kind of said, all right, you got to lock me up. And I think teams were just like, we're kind of good. Like, you're really good, but do it for a little longer, and then we can talk about it. There's just no, I mean, I don't know. This is a roster that, like, we all thought years ago that the White Sox were going to be really something special, right? Yeah. With the number of prospects they were bringing up, Eloy Jimenez, right? Andrew Vaughn, Juan Moncada, right? Like, we were talking about Luis Robert is part of that group, Michael Kopech, right? Like, we were talking about that group as just like, oh my God, they're going to blow the entire world up. We thought they were going to be what the Orioles are right now, right? And they're not. And they were just going to add supplemental pieces, right? They were going to add the Andrew Benintendi's. They were going to add whoever else, Yasmani Grandal. Like, they were going to add those pieces, and it was all going to come together. And the Central was a realistic division to win for years and years and years. It still is, right? Seriously, what a disappointment that all was. That is so unbelievable. And it would, like I said, this would not surprise me if they won less than 40 games the rest of the year.
No. I don't think it would surprise anybody at this point. I mean, how could it surprise you?
Yeah,
based on what we've seen from them. No, it's a really it's a really disheartening thing to watch. Like, and I love what you said about, like, because what's funny is if you watch White Sox fans on social media, most of them are just self-deprecating about it at this point. Like, they're just like, well, we have no choice but to laugh.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just really shit. Like, I would love to see, a team like that is one where it's like at some point there should be required changes at the top of the organization when things go that poorly. I'll put it that way. I don't know how you go about doing that, but yeah.
But yeah, it really is something else. And it's been a while since we've seen a team this poor. Yeah, I mean, you could talk about the 18 Orioles or the 19 Tigers or something like that. But I mean, I don't know that they were this bad. They were bad, but they were not this bad, I don't think.